So let's get reaction to this big news today. Jake Query is a radio host at The Fan here in Indianapolis. Jake, thanks for being here.
Sure.
So what is the impact of Caitlin Clark's injury and the fact that she's not going to play in these events this weekend?
Well, I think what it does, Scott, is it kind of transfers from Caitlin Clark being the straw mixing the drink on the court to being more kind of the symbolic host of Indianapolis. You know, we saw this, I think, if you go back and you look at when the NBA All-Star Game was in Indianapolis, Tyrese Halliburton was clearly kind of the host of the events, if you will, the master of ceremonies. And in terms of Caitlin Clark, I think when you're coming off of the injuries, and if you look at Tyrese Halliburton coming off of that All-Star weekend, I think his body really started to show some fatigue from it. So indirectly, I think this actually may help the Fever themselves because it just allows her to get healthy because those injuries have been nagging. But it clearly is a disappointment from a marketing standpoint because the player that people would be tuning in to see and the people that are tuning in and would see that the Indianapolis on the court or the Indianapolis visions of, you know, all the symbolism of Indianapolis being the host city for the game itself, maybe now they don't watch or tune in particular because she's not doing the three-point shootout as well.
Will we see any drop in attendance or will we see any drop in TV ratings?
I think the drop in TV ratings has to be anticipated, yes, because now attendance probably not, because it is still going to be an electric atmosphere. Downtown looks great. Nobody does it better than Indianapolis in terms of putting the best foot forward and having events for people and kids and families. But in terms of those people living elsewhere throughout the United States that were anticipating watching, she is still the draw of the WNBA, whether people want to admit that or not. She is the player outside of Indiana that gets the transcendent audience and transcends beyond just Fever fans.
Why do you think that Caitlin has been suffering so many injuries this season?
You know, that's a good question because durability was a real key for her in college. I mean, she did not miss a lot of time at Iowa. Scott, I think what happens is when you get those soft tissue injuries, and I am neither a doctor nor at this point an elite level athlete, but I think what happens is if you get an injury that's a little one like that, that's not a major catastrophic injury, it can lead to other injuries because without realizing it, your body starts to overcompensate in your movement. We saw it with Tyrese Halliburton at a different scale, but sometimes those injuries can lead to other injuries because you're moving your body in a way and asking for tendons, muscles to be used that aren't normally in use, and that then can fatigue that area of the body.
Jake Query, host at The Fan.
Those storms producing heavy rain earlier this evening are beginning to weaken. That is good news across central Indiana. Still have a flood advisory until midnight for parts of Monroe County, including Bloomington and Ellettsville. But the good news here, the heavy rain has come to an end. Still raining from Cloverdale and Spencer north to Greencastle, and then east and southeast of Indianapolis. Still a few lingering showers from North Vernon south. This will continue to move out over the next couple of hours. Early tomorrow morning, a downpour or two left, but lots of dry time in that Friday forecast. We'll look ahead to the weekend too.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit, Angela. Thanks. Safety, of course, is going to be top of mind as we head into this busy weekend in our city. Police are going to be stepping up patrols in downtown Indianapolis. All of this comes after several shootings in the heart of Indy, including that mass shooting over the July 4th weekend. Tonight, police are telling us they're going to be monitoring for, among other things, curfew violations. Faith leaders are telling us they will help. Dozens of people from churches and peace groups are going to be walking downtown Indy, working to connect with young people before they get into trouble.
Our goal, as all of us come downtown on Saturday, is to help diffuse any potential conflicts among juveniles and young adults.
Our officers appreciate the help, and more importantly, our kids, our community appreciate you all and what you do for us every single day.
Police tonight are telling us that officers will make announcements over a loudspeaker to kids both 30 minutes and 15 minutes before curfew begins. Well, tomorrow is Ceasefire Indy Day. The goal here is to stop the cycle of violence here in Indianapolis. It's also about honoring community activist Ron G., who started the Ceasefire Indy program before someone shot and killed him last year. Tomorrow marks 1 year since his murder. Organizers hope the call for peace will encourage neighborhoods to promote unity and healing. Here's a look at the other stories making headlines right now. Tonight, police confirmed they've arrested a person of interest after a deadly shooting outside a bar on the south side of Indianapolis. This unfolded early this morning along Southport Crossing near Southport Road and McFarland Boulevard. A man died at the hospital. Tonight, we're working to learn what may have led to that gunfire. Tonight, the estranged wife of former Southern Indiana Sheriff Jamie Knoll is asking for a new judge. Misty Knoll recently pleaded guilty to theft and tax evasion, but she says Judge Larry Medlock has shown he cannot be impartial in the case. Knoll cites Medlock's behavior during her husband's sentencing. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is now planning to assemble a task force to evaluate our state's emergency alert system. All of this comes in the wake of devastating flooding in Texas. Governor Braun says he wants to review the alert and warning systems to see how they can be improved or expanded. Right now, crews are investigating a house fire on the east side of Indianapolis. This was the scene on Forest Manor Avenue this morning near Sherman Drive. Firefighters tell us no one was inside the house at the time of the fire. And a special tribute tonight for a little boy who died last month in an accident on his family's Indiana farm. The Seymour Fire Department named its newest ladder truck Maverick. 4-year-old Maverick died last month. His dad and grandfather both work for the Seymour Fire Department. Remember, you can find all of our latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.